حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله.
This is the song in praise of Allah the Great. I want you to take note of the words Nur Muhammad. That was the purpose that I played this song. Nur Muhammad actually means 100 Kauravas. The 100 Kauravas of Mahabharata epic were actually the priests and kings of the 100 Malanada of the present day southern Kerala 5000 years ago. Being the descendants of Shiva, the mountain leader, these Kauravas were also people of nobility and were highly educated. That's how they were called Kauravas, like Shiva himself, who was a Kaurava. Hence, this ancient mountain king shall be addressed as Mahamedi, which means great intellectual. And it was this Mahamedi that deformed to sound Muhammad. Thus, Nur Muhammad in the song actually refers to the 100 Kaurava kings of epic Mahabharat. Whatever the Muslims might currently know of it, I would prove that Nur meant 100 even by the original and ancient understanding of the Arabs. The people of Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam understand the gross meanings of the technical words of the respective religions rather than the etymological understanding of the individual words. When they comprehend only the gross meanings, it also means that they are missing something very basic. Considering the anthropological, political and theological history of the world, only Tamils shall decipher the actual meanings of not only words but also theology surrounding the words. Thus, the word Nuri is misunderstood to be light by the Arabs and the West, while its actual meaning is 100. There are many such words that are wrongly understood. Salim or Salam is one such word. While it is understood to mean peace by the Abrahamic religions, it actually means Kali, the war goddess, and I have established the same by the video Jerusalem, the city of war or peace. In this video, we would not only prove that Nuru means 100, but also the umbilical connection of Mahabharata epic with Islam. Before proceeding further, I appeal to the Muslim brothers to realize that Shiva is not a Hindu god, but the god of entire humanity. Hinduism was established by Adi Shankara during 8th century, and hence it is a junior religion compared to Islam, which was established by Muhammad during 7th century. Hence, watch my video without any bias to understand Islam better. There is a lot in this video for Muslims and they should watch it without hesitation. 1 year ago, I wrote my script, Amazing Connection Between Tamils and Islam. The script runs for about an hour. However, something restrained me from making the video. I now understand why it restrained me. The starting point of the connection between Tamils and Islam is Mahabharat. I cannot adequately describe the connection between Tamils and Islam without understanding the root of that connection. Mahabharat was the root in question. Mahabharat was one of the greatest ancient epic in the history of mankind. The other was Ramayana. Mahabharata happened about 5000 years ago. In any war, there would be exodus by the losers of the war. Here, the mountain Kauravas of ancient Tamil land lost the Mahabharata war. Fearing persecution by the victors, a section of the royal Kauravas left Tamil land and settled in Arabia, Ethiopia, Egypt, etc. It is they who evolved as Muslims primarily and follow the religion called Islam. And that's the umbilical connection. The pre-Islamic Arabs worshipped their god Allah in the temple at Mecca, which was called Ma Koraba. Ptolemy, who lived in the 2nd century, referred to the temple at Mecca as Ma Koraba, and that forms the solid evidence for the existence of Mecca and its temple. Ma Koraba is the deformation from Ma Korava. Ma means great and Korava is Kurava spelled colloquially. Kuravas are the educated mountain tribe among the general mountain public called Parayars. The Kuravas got the name as they were teachers or preachers. In Tamil, Kuru means say, teach or preach. Kuru, Kuru, Guru. Kuruvon, Kuruvon, Kuravon, Kuravan. Kuru means teach and Kuruvon means teacher. Shiva was the first teacher of humanity. He was the original Kuravan. He developed and taught Veda to his disciples. There were 4 Vedas. Rigveda dealt with the technology of smelting, which Shiva developed. Samaveda dealt with political science, that is, the governing principles of people of a country. Atharva Veda dealt with the technology of making variety of percussion sound equipment. Yajurveda dealt with lots of miscellaneous sciences and technologies. Obviously, Shiva was the first guru, teacher, and preacher. Shiva lived more than 20,000 years ago, and he is the common god of the entire humanity, the Jews, Christians, and Muslims included. He developed Kundalini Yoga practice and proved that man shall become God and escape death and hence rebirth. His third eye is a symbolic representation of this fact. He is referred to as Enoch in the Jewish scriptures, and they say that he walked with God, and it means that he escaped death. He is referred as Metatron in the third book of Enoch, and this word deformed from Vedathan, meaning the possessor of Veda. Vedathan, Medathan, Metatron, Metatron. The first two books of Enoch were of Ethiopian and Slavic origin respectively, and this point is worth mentioning. Hence, Isa was a god himself, and there shall be no doubt about it. This all-important point should be anchored deep in the minds of people of all the Abrahamic religions, specifically the Islamic people. Shiva brought in the consciousness of time for the first time to humanity. He defined the units of time as day, month, and year. Day was defined using sun, and month was defined using moon. Shiva was the greatest of all the great personalities of humanity. For any further information on Shiva, kindly watch my video, Amazing Facts on Kala Bhairava, the corrected version. It's a must watch if you want to know about Shiva. Thus, Shiva being the original Koravan and God, the pre-Islamic temple at Mecca was actually the temple of Shiva, the Koraba. Obviously, it was called Ma Koraba temple 2000 years ago. Ma Koraba, Ma Koraba, Ma Koraba, Ma Korba. The temple being called Ma Koraba, how did those people address their God? We know that it was Isa, but they called him Allah. It was the name of Arabian god, and he was worshipped as Lingam in pre-Islamic Arabia. Allah was not the name of the god that Muhammad created for Islam. This name was already there in the pre-Islamic Arabia. We shall soon discuss how the name Allah originated. The pity is that the world does not know how the word Allah originated. I believe Islam was also not the name coined by Muhammad. He should have adopted the prevailing name as it was the case with Allah. Islam is mentioned in Quran, but it was not defined. What does it mean? The name Islam was already there, and hence Muhammad did not have to define it or explain its meaning. On the other hand, if it was a name that he created, he should have defined it himself in Quran. Thus, Muhammad purified the existing religion, discarding the new idolatry practices introduced over a period of time, rather than coining an altogether new religion. The proof for the same is extracted from the fact that though Medina was the place where Muhammad founded his religion due to historical reasons, he later made Mecca Masjid as the primary masjid after destroying the idols in it. If Islam was not related to Mecca temple previously, he would have declared the Medina Masjid as the primary masjid. This clearly proves that he reformed the religion of Qurayshi people rather than creating an altogether new religion. It is an extraordinary truth which cannot be contested. Muhammad, who developed modern Islam, belonged to Qurayshi clan. But Qurayshi is nothing but Qurava, which deformed over the years. Qurava, Qurasa, Qurayshi, Qurayshi. Obviously, Muhammad belonged to the Qurava tribe of the present-day Kerala, and his forefathers migrated to Arabia from here. The Kuravas of Kerala do not worship idols even today, a practice retained by them from the times of Isa. It is thus obvious that Muhammad restored the religion to its original form. While doing so, he introduced new rules to make the desert life easier for all, alleviating the sufferings and improving the quality of life. He made drastic and positive changes in the quality of life of the desert woman. These measures signify the real greatness of Muhammad. Thus, the smart people trying to interpret the name Islam through the word Aslama and suggesting that it means he submitted is without any rationale and is null and void. They are not able to establish the meaning of Aslama etymologically. In my next video on Islam, I would explain how the word Aslama originated, and I would prove that Aslama gave rise to the word Muslim and not Islam. Hence, the religion of the pre-Islamic Arabs should itself have been called Islam, which Muhammad reformed and reconfigured, retaining its original name. The name Islam evolved as follows: Isa plus Lama, Isa Lama, Islama, Islam. Isa is Shiva. Lama shall mean either God or prophet. Prophet means Siddha, and according to the theological history of Tamils, it is the Siddha who becomes God after he wins over the five senses through intensive yogic practice. Thus, Isa became the first God of humanity. Hence, Islam means Isa the God. Hence, the pre-Islamic religion was itself called Islam, and its god Isa was called Allah, and their most sacred temple was called MAHABHARAT, and it was situated at Mecca. Mecca deformed from Vekkai, which in Tamil means hot and dry. That place was named after its hot and dry climate. Vekkai, Vekka, Bekka, Mecca. From the meanings of Islam and MAHABHARAT, we shall immediately surmise that Allah should be another name of Shiva. We shall not only prove the same, and we would establish the reason why they chose to call him Allah. The Tamil word Al has 5 meanings. They are as follows. 1. Night or darkness. It is the primary meaning of Al. 2. Hidden. In darkness, objects lay hidden from the sight. Hence, it is a derived meaning from the original, which is darkness. 3. Present but cannot be seen. Cannot be seen by eye. For example, air exists but cannot be seen by eye. Atom exists but can't be seen, and in fact Tamil word for atom, Anu, evolved out of this meaning of Al. 4. Not. When searching for objects in night, we may not find them and hence say no. It is a secondary meaning derived from the primary meaning of Al, meaning darkness. 5. Transformed. In Tamil, Urumari iruttal. An object transformed from one identity to another. This fifth meaning of Al should have originated from Mahabharat. The Pandavas were supposed to spend 1 year hiding their original identity. That life was called Anyadavasam. Al plus Nada plus Vasam. Alnadavasam, Anyadavasam. Nadan means king or leader. Al-Nada means the transformed Nada. The Pandava prince transformed themselves as servants. The Pandavas were imperial people, but they transformed themselves as servants in Vrada Desam. Al does not mean not here, it means transformed. Of the 5 meanings of Al, Allah shall be thought to have originated from the third meaning, which says, exists but can't be perceived. Islam considers Allah as formless God. Hence, we shall say that we have etymologically proved the meaning of Allah. But wait, it is not the real meaning. It only showcases one of the attributes of Allah, the invisible God. But the name Allah originated from the primary meaning of Al, that is night. How? I have already proved in my previous video that the Abrahamic religions took formless worship from Lemuria, as its people did not worship idols before the deluge, and Noah carried Shiva and Kali with him, devoid of their images. I have also stated that Jews still worship Shiva as Jehovah without realizing it so. In Christianity, Jesus being Son of God, that God should also be Isa, as Jesus himself was named after his God Isa. Isa, Yeshua, Jeshua, Jesus. Islam too being Abrahamic religion, the God of Islam should also be Shiva. Apart from that, we know that Muhammad belonged to the Kurava clan. The Kuravas of Kerala worship Shiva as Altara in Arupa form, that is, formless form. That means the name Allah should point to Shiva. We would now see how it is. Shiva developed the duality concept. The yin-yang represents the duality. The picture shown depicts the various entities that manifest duality. Day and night is one aspect of duality. Sun represents day and moon represents night. Shiva stands for both sun and moon as seen from the flag of the Kauravas, which represents Shiva. Shiva represents both as he defined the basic unit of time, day, after sun, and he defined another unit of time, month, after moon. Sun represents light called El, and moon represents night called Al. That's why Shiva is called El plus L, Ellal, Ellallan, Ellalan. However, Arabs dislike sun as there was no agriculture in desert, while at the same time the hot sun makes the desert life very unbearable. Kindly be reminded that there is not a single river or lake in Saudi Arabia. The fact that they dislike sun shall be established from the 5-time prayer practice of Islam. Tamils worship their god 6 times a day. It is called Aru Kala Pusai. A day was divided into 6 parts of 4 hours each as displayed in the slide. Tamils worship their god in any chosen convenient time of each of the 6 periods. The morning worship, that is 6 am to 10 am, is specifically sun worship by Tamils. The Arabs, who inherited the 6-time worship of Tamils, avoided the morning worship as it means sun worship. Thus, Muslims do not worship Allah from dawn to noon as they dislike sun. That is how the 5-time worship of Islam originated. The pre-Islamic Arabs' god was Shiva, and he was the epitome of duality and represented both sun and moon, that is, day and night. As the Arabs disliked the sun, they chose to worship only the night aspect of Shiva, and hence they called him Allah, as Al means night. You shall now understand the intimate connection of Muslims to moon. The interesting fact is that the Jews worship their god as El, Eloah, Elohim, Shaddai, Jehovah, all referring to Shiva. In fact, Jews have taken the day aspect of Shiva as El. The reason for that is very simple. The Jews originally belonged to the Qaza region, which is very cold region, and they wanted and loved sunshine, and hence called their god Shiva as El, meaning sun. Kindly be reminded that the ship of Noah is said to have landed on Ararat mountains in the Qaza region. Thus, the Jews living in very cold region had taken the day aspect of Shiva and addressed him as El. The Muslim living in very hot and dry terrain had taken the night aspect of Shiva and addressed him as Al, meaning night. Al plus A, Allah. A here means ancient. Hence, Allah means the ancient god Shiva. Having established how the name Allah evolved, we shall now prove that Quran is also related to Shiva. Quran is the religious doctrine of Islam, but Quran means read out or recite. Recite is synonym of teach or preach. Shiva was the first preacher of humanity. Quran, Quran. Kuravan, Quran. Quran or Kuravan is preacher, and Quran or Quran is the material that is preached. It is worth reminding that Shiva was the Guru and he preached Vedam. I will prove the intimate connection of Islam with Shiva with further outstanding examples. I have already talked about yin yang. The Arabs wear hijab, but there is a difference. The Arab women wear black hijab reminding Kali. The Arab males wear white hijab reminding Shiva. A further outstanding proof is the different style of symmetry for Islamic male and female. The symmetry at the Tipu Sultan tomb near Mysore clearly distinguishes male and female. If the top of the symmetry is designed like a yoni, as shown here, it means that person buried is female. If the top of the symmetry is shaped like a lingam, that is spade, it means a male is buried. To prove that it is a prevalent practice not only in India, look at the picture of the graveyard of Davao city of Philippines. Islamic male symmetry is marked by spade and the female symmetry is marked by chalice-shaped marker. It proves that Muslims were more of Shiva followers than anybody else, and they originally worshipped Shiva and Shivalingam. Shivalingam worship shall not be classed as idolatry. I now have to prove that Islam indeed originated from the Kauravas. Though I said that Qurayshi, the clan Muhammad belonged to, is a Kauravan clan, I have to prove that the original Arabian people are the descendants of the exodus of the MAHABHARAT war. I can prove that by tracing the origin of Ismail, the patriarch of Islamic people. Abraham was assured of a son by his God, but his wife Sarah could not conceive one and she was getting older. Hence, Sarah advised Abraham to get a son through the servant maid Hagar of their household. Hagar thus got conceived and bore Ismail. Before proceeding, I would decipher the etymological meaning of Ismail. Isa plus Ma plus El. Isamael, Ismail. Isa is Shiva and Ma means great and El means God. Hence, Ismail means Isa the great God. They named their son after Isa and this should be kept in mind. After about 14 years, Sarah herself conceived a boy and he was named Isaac. Isa plus Ak, Isaac, Isaac. Aku means the creator. Hence, Isaac means Isa the creator. I have been saying that Jehovah, the Jewish God, is nothing but Shiva, and it is doubly proved by the names of the first two sons of Abraham. After Isaac was born, Sarah didn't like Ismail and Hagar. She asked Abraham to ditch Hagar and Ismail. He ditches them accordingly. The Muslims claim that they were left to the care of nature near Mecca itself, and God has helped them with Zamzam well. The descendants of Ismail are said to have established Islam. If I prove that Hagar belonged to the Kurawa clan, then it shall suggest that she might have been the descendants of the exodus of the Mahabharata war. We know that the prehistoric people weren't remembered by their given name but by their title names. That way, Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar were all title names. Abraham was named so as he came from the other side of the Euphrates river, thanks to Mr. Maso Victor. Appiru plus Aham, Appiraham, Abraham. Appiru means belonging to that side. Aham means residence. Abraham means the person belonging to the other side of the river Euphrates. That's how Abraham got his name, and his language Hebrew was also named so. Appiru, Heppiru, Hebrew. Hence, Abraham has nothing to do with Brahma, the Indian deity, contrary to the claims of the Indian Brahmins. Sar means dependent. Sarah means independent. That is, she was not dependent on Abraham. It is usual that women depend on their men for physical safety and well-being. In the case of Sarah, it was the other way around. In fact, it was Abraham who depended on her. He sold her as sex slave wherever he went. Sar plus Al, Saral, Sarah. Sar means dependent and Al means not, and hence Sarah means independent. I would read out Genesis chapter 12, verses 11 to 13. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. Then they will kill me, but will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you. Thus, he asked her to save his life. This historic truth is kept alive by the name Sarah, meaning that she did not depend on her husband. Sarah means independent of her husband, and that's how she got her name. Thus, she has nothing to do with Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, contrary to the claims of the Brahmins of India. Sarah being beautiful actually means she was a white lady, as she came from very cold Khazar region, and the original Egyptians were black or brown in color, and obviously they would have loved to have her. How was Hagar named? She was named after her clan. Abraham and Sarah called her after her clan name, which was quite common. Hagar was belonging to the migrant population in Egypt. The migrant population was part of the exodus from the Tamil land after the Mahabharata war. I have already explained that Kauravas were the educated class among the general mountain populace called Parayar. However, the ancient name of those mountain people were Yekkar. The name Yekkar originated from the action of climbing the mountains and has been thoroughly discussed in the video Amazing Primitive History of Mankind. Hagar belonged to that Yekkar clan. Yekkar, Hekkar, Hagar, Hagar. Obviously, Ismail's mother was an Ekka, the mountain people of the present day Kerala. Mahabharata war happened about 5000 years ago, and Abraham's times were about 4000 years ago, and Hagar being a woman, it is quite possible that she was a descendant of the Exodus population. It would be further proved through the word Nuru, which is intimately connected with the Mahabharata epic. I would again play the song that I played at the start of this video. The song should be an ancient one. The way the Muslims understand the song is different from what it originally should have been. The green color text is the standard interpretation. The yellow color text is my interpretation. I am giving both the interpretations along with the lyric and play the song line by line.
Hasbi Rabbi Jallallah.
O ever ready teacher, great Allah. My Lord is enough for me, glory to Allah. Here, Hasbi means spontaneous, as shown in the page here, and it originated from Tamil Asuvi, which means offering spontaneously. Asu plus E, Asuvi, Hasuvi, Hasubi, Hasbi. Rabbi is teacher, and this word originated from Aram, one of the 16 grandsons of Noah. Jallallah is actually a deformed Sallallah, and Sal means great in Tamil, and that's how the word Solomon evolved, and hence Jallallah is great Allah. It is now very easy to see that my interpretation is the correct one, and the standard interpretation was made without the proper understanding of the lyric.
ما في قلبي غير الله.
Only sinner's heart shall have false Allah. There is nobody in my heart except Allah. Though spelled differently, both the interpretation mean the same. The etymological explanation will be too lengthy, and hence it would be beyond the scope of this video.
نور محمد صلى الله.
The great Allah of the 100 Muhammad, the light of Muhammad, peace be upon him. Sallallah and Jallallah are the same and mean great Allah. But the standard interpretation interprets Sallallah as peace be upon him, which is wrong. We are now coming to the real point of the video. Nuru means 100 in Tamil and is being interpreted as light in the standard interpretation, which is absolutely wrong. We would soon discuss this all important matter.
لا إله إلا الله.
There is no God except Allah. Interpretation of this line is same in both the interpretations, and these words are direct Tamil words. Ilaha means illa endral, which is collectively pronounced as illakati, and it means if not, and il means illai in Tamil. The third line is the real point of this video. What is meant by Nur Muhammad? Apart from this song, Nur Muhammad is actually a male name among Arabs. Arabs think that Nur means light, while its original meaning is 100. When I checked wiki page, it confirmed that Nur means light, but there wasn't any etymological proof. But surprisingly, I got a lead to understand how Nur became light from the same wiki page. It said Eleanor means light. Eleanor is actually pronounced as Eleanor, and hence I would use this spelling in further discussions on it. It is obvious that L in Eleanor means light, and hence they not only thought that Eleanor means light, but Nur also means the same. It's a very poor understanding. They are lumping everything to just one meaning. But we shall get a clue to the riddle if we know what Eleanor stands for. Eleanor is a female given name. It is not only a female name, but an imperial name or the name characterizing nobility. Yeah, we got it now. Ilaya or Alaya means youngest in Tamil. Nuru means 100. Together, Alayanur means the youngest of the 100. The 100 Kauravas of Mahabharata epic had one and only younger sister. She was called Duchalai. In reality, she was a queen of a Malanada and was the youngest among the 101 Kauravas. Obviously, in most European nations, Eleanor was originally known as the youngest queen from the knowledge of the Mahabharata epic. Slavic people did migrate from Tamil land through different waves of migration. Mr. Marek Zelam, the Slovakian friend of mine, has written to me that the word Germany deformed from Saraman, which means Keralite. It was a Slavic mountain people who originally inhabited Germany. Saraman, Jeraman, German, German. Mr. Marek Zelam says that they are connected with Tamils in general and the mountain Kuravas of the Serenade in particular. To quote one more example, he says that after Tirunavaya of Kerala, a Slovakian town is named Trnava. Both these towns are on the river banks. There are a lot more examples. We have already seen that Gandhari character of Mahabharat proves the connection of Slavic territory with Tamil land. Hence, Duchali was the name of the youngest sister of Kauravas in Mahabharata epic, while Eleanor was actual and historical title name of Duchali. We have thus proved how Noor became light by wrong assumption, and also proved that Eleanor actually represented Duchali. When Eleanor is Slavic name of Duchali, is there a name for Duchali among the Arabs? Yes. That name is Noor Jahan. Noor Jahan is a female given name in the Arab world. We know that Noor means 100. We have to crack Jahan. Jahan deformed from Sahan, a Tamil word which means peer in English. Ahan became Sahan due to R to Sa deformation. Ahan means belonging to the same family. The family here is a figurative one. The 100 Kauravas were kings and Duchali was a queen. That means they all belong to the same class, status, title, duty, privileges, that is figuratively same family. Hence, Duchali had 100 Sahans. As she had 100 Sahans, she was called by the title 100 Sahan, that is Noor Sahan, which became Noor Jahan. Thus, obviously, Noor Muhammad is a male name that represents the 100 Kauravas named as Duryodhana in Mahabharata epic, and Noor Jahan is a female name in Arab world that represents Duchali of Mahabharata epic. Eleanor was known all over the Slavic territory. Moreover, Leonor is a short form of Eleanor, and this name is widely used in the West even today. These things prove that the Mahabharata war indeed happened and it is not a mythological story. To sum up, we have established that Ismail's mother was an Ekka. Ismail was named after Shiva. Pre-Islamic Mecca temple was Shiva temple, as it was called Ma Koraba as per the description of Ptolemy. Muhammad belonged to Qurayshi clan which deformed from Kuraba. Quran means recitation, which evolved from Kurwon meaning Shiva, the preacher. Kuru means preach, and obviously Quran means recitation. Though Noor took the meaning as light by mistake through the word Eleanor, it actually means 100. The fact that Noor Muhammad is a male name and Noor Jahan is a female name, and Noor being a bisexual name, it clearly established that these names originated from Mahabharata, and Noor meant 100 only 5000 years ago. As people forgot the history and thus unable to understand the meaning of Noor, they derived it wrongly from El of Eleanor. Eleanor, the European name, and Noor Jahan, the Arabic name, corresponds to the name of the same person called Duchali of Mahabharata epic. Thus, we have established the umbilical connection of Islam with Mahabharata. This video is just a trailer on the connection between Islam and Tamils. In the video to be published on Islam, I would narrate the situation that forced Muhammad to reformulate Islam and how the Neo-Islam addressed the problems of the desert people. I would also describe the identity of Gabriel and his role in the reformation of Islam. I would also clear some of the controversial aspects of Islam. Of the technical words in Islam, I have already covered Muhammad, Allah, Islam, Quran, etc. Almost all the Muslims might only know the gross meanings of the technical words of Islam, and they do not know the actual meanings of them. That way, in my next video on Islam, I would explain the true meanings of the Islamic technical words like Muslim, Masjid, Ramjan, Adhan or Azan, Salat, Nikah, Hijab, Sharia, Minarat, etc. All these words are deformed Tamil words. I would also discuss the origin of many Islamic practices. These words and the practices, in their true meaning, speak the history and theology of Islam, and that would be extremely interesting to know. As a final word, as Islam catered to the desert people, it might have some controversial features. But Islam is one of a few great and genuine religions of the world. Islam was tailor-made for the desert regions. In my next video on Islam, I would continue my treatise on Islam. The new individuals to this channel should watch either the playlist Understanding Islam Truly or the playlist இஸ்லாத்தை உண்மையாக புரிந்து கொள்ள available in the home page of this channel.